All right, so I'm going to talk about my reading attitude. I feel like from really early on, it was pretty positive. My mom taught me to read when I was little, like when I was 4, before going to kindergarten. She started working with me on things. I asked her to send me a picture of some of the books that she used. And so it was apparently this thing called programmed reading. And I distinctly remember all these pictures. There's some things in here that I would say are science of reading friendly and some things that are really not. There's a lot of pictorial support in these, but I distinctly remember these books and thinking they were cool because you could read them all one way and then flip the book upside down and read it the other way, which was pretty cool for 4-year-old me. My dad also um, helped me develop positive reading attitude. He read to me from Childcraft poems, me and my sisters at night. I think it was just Sunday nights were the poem nights, and his mom read to him from the same book. And my favorite poem was this one right here. It was the Pied Piper. I did like the story, but I also liked it because it was the longest poem. And if we read that one, we got to stay up just a little bit longer than we otherwise would. Um, so I had this positive reinforcement. It was always very positive in school. I remember, winning contests and things because I had read a lot, which was really valuable. I was a very anxious child, and I can only imagine now if I had not been good at reading, what a nightmare school would have been. So it was very positive experiences from the beginning. Memorable books when I was childhood or adolescent, I went through what I would maybe call my Anne phase. I got this series of Anna Green Gables book from one of my grandmothers and read them like they were Bibles. And there are a lot of phrases and things in here that I've realized they're like kind of ingrained in who I am. And then the other Anne that I really connected with was Anne Frank. And I remember reading the Diary of Anne Frank as it was assigned in like 8th grade and like just really connecting with her. And then later reading it as an adult and realizing she sounds like a kid. She sounds like a teenager, and I like the connection wasn't the same. And I thought that was kind of interesting, just how text can freeze this moment of Anne's 14-year-old self, and I can connect with her as a 14-year-old, but it was different. So my Anne phase was a very positive favorite moment growing up and reading. And things I like to read now, I pulled, let's be real, I'm reading this. That's what I'm reading now. But on my bedside table, there's the things that I would also like to be reading. I really like science fiction and fantasy. I bought this because in our linguistics class, it like made me interested in languages. So I started looking around for books. This is a book that's on a planet far away and far into the future. There's this alien language. Humans can only learn it if you've been like altered to learn it. And there's this woman, and something happens in her life that becomes like a big part of this alien language. I can't tell you what it is because I'm only on page 22 and I don't know when I'm going to come back to it, but I liked this one. Through like a little Spanish phase a few years ago. So I read Senderos Fronterizos, and then I've been reading this. It's kind of like a prequel to that story of the immigrant boy who comes from Mexico. I like a lot of religious texts. This is like a sort of different scholarly responses to the story of the Garden of Eden from Genesis. I like this one, The Marcies, that I'm also partway through, never going to finish because I have other things to read right now. But it's this story of this island of women. It's based on a true story. I think it's somewhere like off the coast of Norway. This big wave comes, all the men are killed, and the women are left on the island to kind of take care of things. It's interesting. And then my kid lit. I recently got Disney Plus and watched Ms. Marvel, and so I really want to read the graphic novel, the comic book, and other kid books that I've been wanting and needing to read. So that's what I like to read. I'm really excited to hear about your reading attitudes and experiences.